Hello everybody, it's Aaron back from Screen Stars, and I'm here once again to do another review for Geek, Legion of Doom. And today I'm here to review the 2019 horror film The Dare, a film that is co-written and directed by Giles Alderson, and it stars Bart Edwards, Richard Brake, Richard Short, Alexandra Evans and Robert Mazer. Now, this film may look familiar, and that is because I did very recently on the channel a clip reaction to one of the clips in this film, The Dare, and it was an effective clip and I enjoyed what I saw, and I've been given the opportunity to review the film, which is out very shortly. Now, the film focuses on initially Bart Edwards' character Jay, who is a family man. He's married with 2 kids, and the film kind of starts with a home invasion, and he is taken and dumped in a basement with 3 other people, apparently strangers, and they are being held there by a brute of a man that enjoys torturing them. Alongside this, there is another story taking place of a young boy who is taken by a farmer and raised in a cycle of abuse, and these 2 stories become intertwined and connected as the story progresses. Now, that's all I really want to say in the story here, because I don't want to give any spoilers away. However, what we get here is, like I say, 2 stories. One story is about awful abuse and having to live with it, and the other story is the repercussions of a lifetime of abuse. So the very core central message here is quite an upsetting one, really. And I think that what gives the film its strength, really. There is a core storyline running through this film that all becomes clear as you watch it, and it's quite a cohesive story, and it works, and I really appreciated that. You don't always get that in a horror film. That's not to say though that this film doesn't have some problems. There are some issues here and there, but nothing that spoils particularly enjoyment here. Now, this film is, to coin a phrase, absolutely brutal, and quite difficult to watch at times. The violence doesn't hold back. It's truly cringeworthy at times, but I do think horror fans will have a field day with this film. There's like an animalistic primal violence going on throughout this film that, like I say, it's quite difficult to watch, and it's like continuous as well, and you've got no real idea while you're watching it, certainly early on, why this is taking place. I mean, my ideas from watching the clip was the way he moved and acted and what he was doing to these people, and you can go and watch that clip reaction now if you want, before you watch the film, was one of sheer shock, because you genuinely couldn't understand what was going on and why this person was doing what he was doing. But I think they're also quite clever, the filmmakers here. I think they're trying to, if this film is popular, create maybe a new horror icon here. You could see them making more of these. There is scope potentially for more, and I think they realise that. And the reason why I think they realise that is because they give you quite a satisfying ending here, and then there's another one tacked on at the end that personally I don't think the film needed, but they did it anyway. And I think that was probably a realisation that, we might have a horror character here that's gonna click with an audience, and they're probably right to some degree. There's 2 stories being told here, and they're both good. I think they're both very, very watchable. One of them, like I say, is quite difficult to watch. Well, they're both quite difficult to watch for different reasons. The one with the boy and the farm is quite difficult to watch for the abuse that's taking place, the blatant abuse of this child, and this awful childhood that he's got. And the other one of these 4 strangers in a basement being tortured continuously by this huge brute of a man whose face you can't see because he's wearing a mask. And there are, I'm sure there are some people going to make comparisons to Saw here. That was my first impression when I saw the clip. I thought it initially reminded me of Saw. And there is a vague resemblance here. There's even shades of Hostel in the film. It's like Saw crossed with Hostel at times. But it does have its own identity, this film. It does stand out and stand on its own 2 feet. The performances are all very, very strong. I think Richard Brake in particular stands out here as the brutal farmer trying to raise this child. But all the individuals in the basement who are being tortured have all got distinct identities and characters. There's a layer of humour at times in this that actually made me smile and giggle. Especially there's a security guard that's been held in the basement. He's got a multitude of one-liners. When they've got to eat some fresh meat, for example, that hasn't been cooked, the new one down there, Jay, throws it away and says, "I'm a vegan." And then the security guard proceeds to call him Captain Tofu. It just made me smile. So there's a nice layer of black humour that runs through the film as well. So I think it's actually a very, very strong new entry into potentially a horror franchise here, and it's one I certainly enjoyed, and I think horror fans will have a field day with this one. It is quite brutal and it is quite violent, and it is an interesting watch for sure. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Like I say, it's not perfect. There are some problems with it, some plot holes here and there. The tacked on ending I wasn't overly keen on, but generally speaking I was suitably impressed with this one, and I would definitely be interested in seeing more. So that is my review for the day. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, I will be back, and Leo will be back with more reviews on Geek Legion of Doom very soon.